Once upon a time, in a quiet village, there lived a kind and gentle girl named Cinderella. Her mother had passed away when Cinderella was very young, and her father had remarried a proud and cruel woman who had 2 daughters of her own. From the moment Cinderella's father brought his new wife and daughters home, they treated her like a servant. Cinderella wore old and dirty clothes, slept near the fireplace, and was always covered in ashes. That's how she got the name Cinderella. Meanwhile, her stepsisters dressed in fine clothes and went out to parties and events. One day, Cinderella's father died, and now Cinderella was left alone with her stepmother and stepsisters, who forced her to do all the housework. No matter how hard Cinderella worked, it was never enough for her stepfamily. Then one day, the king announced a grand royal ball. The prince was looking for a bride, and every young woman in the kingdom was invited. Cinderella's stepsisters were thrilled. They spent hours choosing the finest gowns and the most beautiful jewelry. But when Cinderella asked if she could also go to the ball, her stepsisters burst out laughing. "You can't possibly think you'd be invited. Silly girl, you have to stay here and take care of us." And their mother added, "You may not go to the ball, but while you're scrubbing floors, we'll be dancing with the prince." Cinderella was heartbroken, but she knew her stepsisters were right. She wasn't dressed well enough to go to such an important event. Crying alone in her room, Cinderella suddenly saw a warm light. When she turned around, she saw a beautiful woman with a magic wand. "Don't cry, my child," the woman said. "I am your fairy godmother. Tell me, what would you like?" Overjoyed, Cinderella explained about the royal ball and how she wanted to go. "Well, then we better hurry," said the fairy godmother. With a wave of her wand, she turned a pumpkin into a golden carriage, mice into horses, and Cinderella's rags into a glittering gown with glass slippers. "Oh, thank you!" cried Cinderella. "But fairy godmother, how am I supposed to get back home? The ball ends at midnight, and I must leave before then." "Don't worry, my child," she said. "You can return the carriage with a wave of your magic wand. But remember, the magic will end at midnight." Then Cinderella ran to the ball in her magnificent carriage. When she arrived, everyone was stunned by the beautiful stranger, but no one was more surprised than the prince. He had never seen anyone as lovely as Cinderella. The 2 danced together all evening. The prince had never felt so connected to anyone before. But as the clock struck midnight, Cinderella remembered her promise to leave. She hurried out of the ballroom, leaving behind one of her glass slippers. The prince looked around for the beautiful girl, but she had disappeared. Determined to find her, the prince began searching the entire kingdom. He had heard that a mysterious girl had attended the ball, and he was hopeful that he could find her. The prince visited many houses that night, and in each one he tried to slip her on every girl, but it didn't fit. Then finally, he arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried to fit their feet in the shoe, but it was no use. Just then, Cinderella appeared. The slipper fit perfectly. The prince was overjoyed to see her again, and soon after, they were married in a joyful royal ceremony. After the wedding, Cinderella returned home to tell her fairy godmother the wonderful news. She then invited her fairy godmother to attend the wedding. When her fairy godmother arrived, she was so happy to see Cinderella. She had known all along that Cinderella would find true love. On the day of the wedding, Cinderella looked beautiful in her white gown and silver shoes. All the people in the kingdom attended the wedding, and the celebration lasted for 3 days. After the wedding, Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. Cinderella became the beloved queen, and she and the prince ruled the kingdom with love, wisdom, and compassion. One day, Cinderella forgave her stepfamily and chose to live a life of kindness and grace. She and the prince ruled the kingdom with love, wisdom, and compassion. Moral of the story: no matter how hard your life may be, never give up hope. With a little faith, your dreams will come true.